Recorded Books presents an unabridged recording of Diary of a Wimpy Kid, The Last Straw, by Jeff Kinney, narrated by Ramon de Ocampo.
June. Friday. Today was the last day of school, and everybody was in a good mood but me. Everyone else is looking forward to having fun this summer, but all I've got to look forward to is sit-ups and marching drills. At lunch, everyone handed their yearbooks around for people to sign, and when I got mine back, here's what was on the last page. Don't be a fool. Be cool. Slick. At first, I couldn't figure out who Slick was, but then I realized it was just Rowley. A couple of days ago, Rowley was standing near an older kid's locker, and the guy wanted Rowley to move. The guy said, "Step away from my locker, Slick." So I guess now Rowley thinks Slick is his permanent nickname or something. I just hope he doesn't expect me to say it. I flipped through the pages to see who else signed my yearbook, and there was one that made me stop in my tracks. It was from Holly Hills. First of all, she wrote my actual name, so that means she figured out who I was since Friday night. And second, she wrote K-I-T at the end, which everyone knows means keep in touch. You'd better believe I'm gonna take her up on her offer. She wrote, "Greg, I don't really know you all that well, but you seem okay, I guess. K-I-T, Holly." I handed my yearbook to Rowley to show him, but then he showed me what she wrote in his yearbook, and it kind of made her note to me look lame. "Dear Rowley, you are so adorable and funny. I hope we have the same homeroom next year. Stay cute. Love, Holly." A couple of minutes later, Holly's yearbook came around, and I had a chance to sign it. So here's what I put. "Dear Holly, you are a nice person and all, but I only think of you as a friend. From Slick." The way I see it, I just did Rowley a huge favor. I don't want to see him get his heart stomped on by Holly Hills, because the truth is, girls can be a little cruel sometimes. June. Saturday. Today was my only day of summer vacation, and I had to spend it at Seth Snella's half-birthday party. I asked Mom to let me stay home so I could enjoy myself, but she said we were going to the party as a family. Dad didn't even bother fighting it, because he knew he wasn't getting out of it either. So at 1 o'clock, we walked across the street to the Snella's house. The Snellas really did it up this year. They had a clown making balloon animals and a moon bounce for the kids. They even had live music. Roderick was pretty sore over that because his band, Loaded Diaper, tried out for the job, but the Snellas turned them down. Everyone ate lunch, and then at 3:30, the main event started. Mr. and Mrs. Snella had all the adults lined up in front of Seth, and they all took turns trying to make him smile. Mr. Henrik went first, acting like a chicken and saying, "Squawk! Squawk!" I noticed Dad looking really nervous at the back of the line. At one point, I walked by Dad to get myself some cupcakes, and he stopped me. He told me if I could get him out of this situation, he'd owe me. Big time. I thought it was pretty ironic that Dad would be asking me for a favor, especially since he's the one who's shipping me off to military school tomorrow. So I was fine with letting him squirm. But that doesn't mean I wanted to see my dad acting like a baboon in front of the whole neighborhood either. I thought about sneaking home to spare myself the shame. That's when I saw Manny on the other side of the deck, poking around Seth's presents. Manny found the present that was from our family, and he ripped it open. As soon as I saw what it was, I knew things were about to get real complicated. It was a blue knit blanket, just like the one Manny used to have as a baby. And you could tell Manny thought he had found himself a brand new tingy. I went over to Manny and told him he was going to have to hand over the blanket because it was for the baby, not him. But Manny wouldn't cough it up. When Manny realized I was going to take away the blanket, he just turned around and chucked it over the railing. The blanket landed in the branch of a tree. I knew I had to get it back before Mom found out, so I got down off the deck and started climbing up the tree. Right when I was about to grab the blanket, my foot slipped, and I was left hanging there. I tried to pull myself back up, but I didn't have the strength. I probably would have been able to do it, but the only thing I had to eat today was a grape soda and the frosting off of a piece of cake, so I had no energy. I yelled for help, but I really wish I didn't call attention to myself, because right when everyone came over to see what was going on, my pants came loose and fell down around my ankles. It wouldn't have happened if I was wearing my own pants, but I never washed my dress pants after they got that chocolate all over them, so I was borrowing a pair of Roderick's pants, which were about 2 sizes too big on me. The situation was humiliating enough, but then I realized something even worse. I was wearing my Wonder Woman underoos. Eventually, Dad ran over and helped get me down, but not before Mr. Snella got the whole thing on tape. And something tells me that this time around, he has a good shot at the America's Funniest Families grand prize. After that, Dad hustled me home, and I thought he was going to be really mad at me. But it turns out that my accident happened right when Dad was next up to go in front of Seth Snella, so I saved him from having to take his turn. And get this, Dad thinks I faked the whole thing to bail him out. He even said, "That's my son," and slapped me on the back. I wasn't about to correct him either. I made myself a big bowl of ice cream, sat down in front of the TV, and tried to enjoy the rest of my one day of freedom as best I could. June. Sunday. When I woke up this morning, it was 11:15. I couldn't figure out why I was still in bed because Dad was supposed to drive me to Spag Union at 8 o'clock. So I went downstairs. Dad was sitting at the kitchen table reading the paper, and he wasn't even dressed yet. When I walked into the kitchen, Dad told me we could rethink this military academy thing. He said maybe I could just do some push-ups and sit-ups every once in a while, and that would be just as good as the summer conditioning program at Spag Union. I couldn't believe my ears. I guess Dad felt like he owed me for saving him yesterday, and this was his way of paying me back. I walked out of the house and went up to Rowley's before Dad could change his mind. And on my way up the hill, I realized that I was on summer vacation. The birds were chirping. I knocked on Rowley's door, and when he answered, I told him I didn't have to go to Spag Union after all. Rowley didn't even know what I was talking about, so that just shows you how clueless he can be sometimes. We played Rowley's Twisted Wizard 2 for a while, and then his parents kicked us out of the house. So we grabbed some popsicles and went and sat on his front curb. You'll never believe what happened next. A really cute girl I had never seen before walked up to us and introduced herself. She said her name was Trista, and that she just moved in down the street. I looked at Rowley, and it was pretty obvious he was thinking what I was thinking. So it took me about 2 seconds to come up with a plan. Clonk him over the head with a bat. But then I had a better idea. Rowley's family belongs to a country club, and he's allowed to bring 2 guests to his pool every day. So that could actually work out real nice. Trista and I could lie out by the pool sunning ourselves, and I would tell Rowley to go fetch us some slushies. It looks like things are finally going my way. And you know, it's about time. I don't know anyone who deserves to catch a break more than me, because like I said before, I'm pretty much one of the best people I know. And I know it's really corny to finish with a happy ending, but it looks like I'm out of paper anyway. So I guess this is the end.